Well, this has to be the first Zander now. Early morning on the Volkhov. Actually, just the right time to fish for Zander. Yesterday evening, I was already standing at the Volkhov, looking for Zander, and I found catfish. Catfish, catfish, catfish. In the early evening hours, through the night of course too, and then in the morning hours, it started again with Zander. That means at different spots you always have to expect when fishing for Zander that sometimes a catfish will take the bait. Yeah, now, in this case, it should really be the first Zander, and you've probably already noticed the fish put up a good fight. They behave quite similarly to catfish. They stay closer to the bottom and they hold on tight, so to speak, and resist being reeled in. That's already a pretty good start. The first fish were perch, and now I cast out a little farther again, a bit more towards that 6.5 meter hole, maybe a little deeper, and then we just start jigging. Simple jig setup. And of course, we'll take a look at the setup in a moment too. And bam, that's probably the next perch again. Yeah, so perch and Zander, now both biting here at one spot, one that actually works again and again. I'll also show you the other spot on the map that worked too. Or, well, the one that delivered the catfish. If you're up for a bit of catfish fight, that also works here. Now, of course, when fishing, it's time to test baits. Test, as always. So I'll start testing baits again here. I was already quite happy with the Maggot series, that rubber lure series called Maggot. You should definitely get it in the different colors. It's worth it on many waters, all the way up to the North Sea, and for many different fish species. So that thing you can test again and again, or, well, test the different colors again and again. For Zander, the colors white, yellow, and green are usually the ones that work best. Or white and silverish, anything that looks a bit like small fish, something like bleak, for example. And of course, you could also just use bleak as live bait. So if you feel like doing a bit of bait fish fishing, you can go right to the pier, right where the city is on the Volkhov, and you can catch bleak perfectly there using the telescopic rod, and then you can use them here, one by one, as bait. So now we already have the next small perch, and that means I'll change the bait again. I'll also change the shape a bit. We don't want that one. So this is what it looks like here. I'm fishing with a double hook, relatively large and quite heavy, about 17 kilograms. Yesterday, when I was here, I used 13 kilograms, but then a 15 kilogram catfish was a bit too long of a fight, so I went a bit heavier this time. So, which series again? Maggot series, definitely buy it. Get all the colors, you can always use them again. Then for Zander fishing, the tiny fish also works great, especially the size 4 series, and then the color white or silverish. Let's start with that. Let's cast it out nicely. Yeah, like that. Perfect distance, that's around 40 to 50 meters out. Just a max distance cast. And now I'm fishing pretty slowly. Speed 20, speed 25. Just jigging lightly over the bottom. The big advantage of this spot is that jigging works quite easily here because we're jigging against the current. That means when you pull continuously, the current pushes the lure down again so it falls faster and doesn't get dragged away with the flow. Because we're jigging against the current, it's much easier. The jig control is much better. And that's important for Zander fishing. That's when it starts to really trigger bites. Bam! And there's the next one. But probably again a perch, which means keep testing baits. Test and test and test. Ideally, filter out the perch and try to find the right lure for Zander. For example, the Provoker series, also one of the top Zander series. Let's take the yellow one now. Change the color again, and let's see if the yellow one brings a Zander this time. And bam! Yes! Right away! It wasn't even fully in the jig motion yet, but I think that's more of a big perch than a Zander. Not that heavy, but you can see, yeah, a small Zander actually. So you can definitely catch Zander here. They're here again and again depending on the weather, sometimes more, sometimes less. Important, be here at the spot around 5 o'clock in the morning. So if you log into the game and don't know what to do, and it's early morning or middle of the night, you can already come here and start trying for Zander. Yeah, look, I think the provoker really works. That's going well already. And of course, you can keep varying the colors. Always try something new. That's the thing about bait. When it's working, keep testing. The provoker seems to be doing really well here. Small Zander, perch, mussels, crazy. Not bad at all. I'll keep fishing a bit here, test a bit more. I could also imagine that using a skirted jig or one of those craw lures, the new craw series that came with Elk Lake, could also work really well for Zander here. I haven't tried those here yet. Maybe I'll test that next. And again, classic colors, white, yellowish, and green. Something that might work well for Zander. Definitely an option. Yeah, I'll keep going here, test a bit more. Zander, by the way, are worth it for their silver value, but they have to be big enough that, of course, the small ones, I don't want those. Might also be the time of day, maybe the big ones are already gone. Zander around 2 kilograms are already worth quite a bit. Price-wise, really good. And if you can fill your net with them, whether here on the Volkhov at the Sura or later at the archipelago, you can fish for Zander pretty much everywhere and earn good silver. So yeah, that's that. Just go to the Volkhov again and test if some Zander are biting. Oh, almost forgot the other spots. I wanted to show 2 more spots on the map at least. So up here, in this deeper area, also a good option. On the same island, just up here, you can fan out and fish this section. That's one option. And then from the base, go up here where that collapsed wall piece is, and from there you can reach that whole area. That's also worth trying. Yesterday evening I caught lots of catfish there, mainly on the white maggot lure. Zander also bit on the same lure, but if you don't want catfish, maybe avoid that spot for now. And this spot here, that's a classic. So yeah, those are 3 spots where you can always fish for Zander quite well. That's it for now. If it helped you, leave a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and see you in the next video. Tight lines.